rugged shores and woodlands of the north, it's history of copper mines and iron ore, the Great Lakes fishery. To the farmlands of the southern counties we'll look around, my friend, and all that waits the sportsman in the state of Michigan. And sometimes when the moon brings out the diamonds in the snow, and the stillness of the forest lies encased in Arctic cold, the wind might whisper through the trees, listen if you can, it tells you of their beauty in the state of Michigan.
Hi there, come on in. It is Thursday night, July 22nd, 2004. This is a summer of transition for the practical sportsman. I've been working with our video library that dates back to the late 1970s, and you'll see some highlights from shows 11 years ago and 22 years ago on this date. I have an outdoor news report on a budget cut in the summer waterfowl count by the Fish and Wildlife Service, an announcement of the DNR's position on mandatory antler restrictions for deer hunters, and a shift in policy for the availability of leftover fall turkey hunting licenses by the DNR. And we have a lot more, so stay tuned. I'm Zachary Trost, and you're watching a show for the practical sportsman.
Lot of bone here. Look at this baby. It's only a stinking 6-point with a 22-inch spread, almost 12-inch tines. Kent County, Aaron Counterman from Rockford. You got this with a muzzle loader during regular firearm season.
Yeah, I prefer my muzzleloader over anything.
Over anything?
Well, I just feel more comfortable shooting it.
Do you bow hunt?
I have before, but I haven't last year.
So you got your choice. You could go up, if you went up to the northern lower where you could shoot a rifle, you'd still shoot your muzzleloader?
I'd probably still shoot my muzzleloader.
That is a great rack. I mean, you talk about finding a spike that has 15 inches. It's hard to find a 6-point that is anything close to this. So why do you hunt?
I just like the thrill of it. I'm more of a lawn chair hunter. I shot this out of my lawn chair in my driveway.
In your driveway?
In my driveway. Our house is about a quarter mile off the road, so we have a long driveway, and it's just right where all the deer cross, and he's just been ripping up all the trees down there, so...
Yeah, have to stop that.
I shot a 5-point down there last year, and so I just decided to hunt down the driveway again, so I got out the blue lawn chair and set it out down there.
Now, is this a lawn chair that, like, a long one?
It's got the cup holder. It just doesn't have the feet holder. So.
Oh, the cup holder.
Yeah, it's got the cup holder though.
So do you like read or listen to CDs or something while you're doing
I just wait for the deer to come. And this is the 6th largest 6-point ever recorded in the state of Michigan.
Oh man, I bet. Now, you shoot with a muzzle loader from a lawn chair. What kind of position are you in when you?
It's just one that I won't tip over in. So I got to get the feet ready and just got to make sure that I don't tip over in it.
Have you ever tipped over in it when you shot?
I've got to tip over in it. So.
Well, there's the challenge.
Yep.
See if you can shoot the baby without tipping over. Aaron Counterman, that is outstanding story. Our lawn chair hunter from his driveway with a muzzle loader. You demand. Who's that? You? Whoa, Edmund Vineyard, right, from Wyandotte. You were fishing Kent Lake and you got a gar, some people call them gar pike, 45 inches long, 12 pounds. Wow, that's something you caught on this lure?
Yes.
Where, this mouth on a gar, we can actually see it right here. This is just like all bone and teeth, and they're very sharp. And these are the fish, generally not this big at all, but you'll be fishing and things keep taking the bait and you can't hook them. A lot of times it's gar because you just can't get a hook in that mouth. How in the world, where was that thing hooked?
Right there.
In the corner. That's just about the only soft spot that you can find in the mouth of a gar. And that is not a real big red and white spoon. What were you fishing for?
Bass and bluegill and
Bass, bluegill, and small stuff. Well, this must have surprised the heck out of you.
Yeah.
What happened as soon as it hit? Did it take off or?
It snapped 12 inches of the pole.
Off the tip? Mm-hmm. And then what'd you say?
I was wondering what it was, and when I pulled it out, I was excited.
Well, I guess. And you had a little less to work with that pole. Now, that pole, was this like an expensive fishing pole?
Yeah.
Cheap $8 pole.
A who?
Cheap $8 pole.
Oh, an $8 pole. Okay, but you didn't have to shell out for it, did you?
No.
Okay, so it's really no problem.
Right.
Okay, well, good. Well, that is exciting. These things really fight, don't they?
Yes.
How long did it take you to bring it in?
45 minutes.
Wow. And that's with the broken pole right off the bat?
Yep.
Well, that's exciting. So what'd you think about this, Pop?
I couldn't believe it when he pulled the head and snout up out of the water. I'm yelling to the other nephew, grab it around the throat, pull it up in the boat.
Now, hold it. You tell the nephew, when you see the face, grab it around the neck and pull it in the boat.
Yeah, because I didn't want to get my fingers in the mouth. Figured I'd let him do it.
Oh, yeah, nephews are a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
I see. Is that how they got it in the boat?
Yeah. He got it up a little bit farther, and the nephew grabbed it around the neck, pulled him in the boat.
How did you know that that's the technique you should use?
I didn't know.
Well, what the heck, as long as somebody else does it.
Yeah, so I don't get hurt.
Yeah. Golly. Watch him, okay? Well, that's great. That's really neat that you got that mounted, too, because that's a heck of a trophy. Well, congratulations, Edmund Vineyard from Wyandotte. One new thing we've been doing this summer is going through our video library. We came across a recipe that I did in the late 1970s when we used 16 millimeter silent film. It's an interesting way to cook fish.
Now this is one that I did a couple years ago. This was Son's mustache in the old days, but I did a little camping setup. It's called Simple Sunfish because all you do is field dress these sunfish, and they can be very small. The ingredients we use are easy to take along camping. There's a little bag of sunfish, bluegills. Look kind of small, don't they? Yeah. Well, they are sometimes a pain in the neck if you want to fillet them, but all you need is some cornmeal, some capers. You ever had capers? No. Well, they're tasty addition. A couple lemons, some butter, and that's all you need for this recipe. Remember, we haven't even skinned them or scaled them. Take some butter, maybe 2/3 of the butter, and you melt it, get it going in a little container. Meanwhile, we're going to take these sunfish and get them ready for the pan. Okay, I'm getting out my filleting knife, but I'm not going to fillet them. I double bag them. You know why I double bag them? No. Oh, keep them in the refrigerator?
Keeps it from water from seeping out?
Yeah, you bet, especially on a perch or a bluegill, something like that. Their spines poke through, and the next thing you have a certain odor in your refrigerator. So I double bag them. But this is all you do. I'm just cutting the heads off right now. Cut the heads off and the belly fat off. And scrape out the insides. That's it. Ready to go in the pan. I know people say you're crazy. This isn't going to work. You're going to get a mouthful of scales. Well, just wait and see. But it doesn't take long at all. You know, I know a lot of people who fillet bluegills.
Yes, I do that.
You fillet them?
Yep.
You going to enter our fish filleting contest?
Sure.
It's up in Ludington, you know, Labor Day weekend.
I'll be there.
I wonder how Ray Nichols does on filleting bluegill. We're also going to do this at the boat show. We're going to have a fish filleting competition there in February. But there we just take the heads and the intestines, drop them in a bag, and that's that. These fish are ready to go. You want to wash them off a little bit. Now to the rest of the recipe. Pour out a little water. This is if you're out camping. You can do this out in the woods, do it at home.
Fred, if this really works.
If this really works, okay. I know somebody who fixed fish with this recipe And they served it to some friends, but they forgot to tell them about a little technicality at the end. You do have to remove the scales and the skin, but I'll show you how that's done. Right now, look at that. Just rolled the fish in cornmeal. Not flour, not cracker crumbs, not breadcrumbs. Roll them in cornmeal and put them in the hot butter or hot oil, whatever you want to cook them in. Butter is great. And brown them up. You know, it doesn't take long. Little fish like this cook very rapidly. Meanwhile, the butter is melted, so squeeze a couple lemons into, you know, half a pound, 2/3 of a pound of butter, and take a teaspoonful of capers, about that many.
What do those
Dump 'em
taste
in.
like?
It's hard to explain. You know, if you haven't eaten lamb before, what does lamb taste like? Well, it doesn't taste it. Capers are different. They have a, not a pungent, a very flavorful taste, especially with the lemon and the butter. So there they are, simple sunfish. And you say, what in the heck are we going to do with these? Remember, they're covered with scales. The fins are in them. All right, just watch this. A little practice with a fork. You take the fork and slice right down along the top. And watch that.
Look at that.
What do you think about that, Bob?
So far, so good.
So far, so good. And watch how see that meat, how that comes off of the bones? See, you're going to maximize the amount of meat that you get off of these bluegill.
Kind of like eating a brook trout in some respects.
Yes, it is. Look at that. Look at that. You have the skin, the bones, and the fins. And then you take that meat, all that scrumptious bluegill meat there, take the capers and the lemon and the butter and put it on there. I guarantee you'll turn people's heads with this, you know.
Yeah.
It is. It's that good and it's better. It's called Simple Sunfish.
We're working on a new segment for this show we call the PSF Video Network Classics, where we highlight excerpts from classic TV features that we put on the air 11 years ago and 22 years ago on this same date. We don't have the format down exactly, but we are working on it. We're going to start with highlights of the July 22nd show from 1993. It begins with retired wildlife biologist Andy Ammon, who would use his hunting dog to locate woodcock broods in the spring so he could band them for research. That's the first feature in this week's Classics.
Oh, there's another one. There's a small. Oh, here's the whole brood. Whole brood.
We just flushed a young brood of woodcock that hatched out a little over 2 weeks ago. We're hunting with Dr. Andy Ammon, retired DNR wildlife biologist, who at 80 years old still bands woodcock in the spring to track their migratory wanderings. His young dog Patch is his hunting buddy that locates the woodcock broods in the leaves. Patch appears to be on point, but his wagging tail says he's not sure. The bird was there recently, but it must have moved. We find a recently vacated nest, probably hatched within the past day or two. 4 eggs are most common, but this one had only 3, and the young chicks had to be close by. If we're lucky, Andy will be able to release her in a way that we can get a look at an adult woodcock walking freely, a sight we don't often get to see at close range.
In the rest of the feature, we see the baby woodcock that Andy bands, an interesting activity that some hunters help with in the spring in Michigan. Another interesting feature on this 1993 show was fishing for whitefish in the St. Mary's River. Harry Reinfelder revealed his technique for chumming with corn. The whitefish weren't big, but they are tasty.
But she'll come back. It's evening. We're starting our second fishing trip of the day. Harry Reinfelder, Tim Farragon, and I came up dry on our early morning trek to a favorite walleye hotspot. And we really didn't think that fishing would improve enough where we were. So in the afternoon, we trailered the boat to a new location, the St. Mary's River, which connects Lake Superior with Lake Huron. This is the location of the famous Sioux Locks. The freighters go through these locks because of the 18-foot difference in the levels of the two lakes. The technique is called chumming. Corn, kernel corn, straight out of the can is tossed over the side where it will settle to the bottom, attract whitefish that can be caught on hook and line.
There we go. Oh, I'm very pleased. Oh, that's great. That's my first whitefish. Never caught a whitefish before. No, I haven't. So I'm quite excited about this. This fish is cold.
Grandma Backhouse's special meatball.
Most venison meatballs I've had, you could use for slingshot ammo. And I just think that, you know, these are wonderful. I've got to go with meatballs.
With
they
the
were great.
meatballs,
Yeah.
okay.
The recipe from this show was an extremely popular one, Grandma Backhouse's special meatballs. But wait, there's more. The show from 22 years ago starts off with a big fish of the week, a huge freshwater drum. It's also called a sheep's head. DNR fisheries biologist Ned Fogel gives us some interesting biology on this species.
See those little orangish bumps? Those are teeth, Ned?
Those are teeth. Mm-hmm.
There's quite a few of them down in there, but they're not really sharp.
No, these are grinding teeth, and this is how they bust the shells, the hard surfaces up.
Back in 1982, Bob Knopf, who worked for Berkeley Trilene, explained the results of research into fish vision, what they can see, how they see, and how anglers can use this knowledge to catch more fish.
How much peripheral vision does a fish have?
Some fish, minnows and that, they can see completely around themselves, whereas a bass or a salmon or something like that has very good vision to the front, and it can see to the sides pretty well too, but not quite as well as forward.
This show in 1982 was heavy into biology. Ned Fogel from the DNR and Don Garling from Michigan State University had a fish tank with a couple of panfish to use for a discussion about small fish, stunted fish, and how lakes can become overpopulated with those little ones.
You don't have as many fish for a given area, too, when you have a lot of large fish. When you get into many small fish, why, you get a situation where there are many fish, there are a lot of eggs being produced, and you've got a lot of continuous small fish coming on. There's not enough food to go around, and so they just don't grow.
So we should be getting, I've heard that you should take small bluegill, and if they're too small to eat, throw them away. Throw them up on the bank, let the raccoons or something get them.
Well, that probably, usually in that case, there's too many small ones. The few that you might throw out wouldn't do anything.
One more biologist was on this show, Glenn Dutterer from the Michigan State University Extension Service. He used to bring critters on the program, and this particular week he brought a baby mallard duck and talked about how they grow and hopefully survive in the wild.
A bird has to make a certain weight, a flying weight, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's underweight, it doesn't have the power to fly, and if it's overweight, it can't get off the ground. So they don't stunt. And you can see from the size of that egg, which is about to hatch, and the size of this duck, which is just a week old, the tremendous growth that this animal had to put on.
The recipe is called tomato crisp smelt, and I'm going to have you put some salt and pepper on the inside of some of these.
Okay.
Tomato crisp smelt was another popular recipe from our first year with the Michigan Outdoors TV show.